Alright guys, it's Magnum Supreme, bringing another little video today. Today, I felt like I would talk about AR-15 pistols. I recently acquired this one. This is an 11.5 BCM. It was a law enforcement trade-in upper that I got. The lower is just PSA, cheap shit. Lower's a lower, as you guys all know. I've been running this thing for like a couple months now, pretty seriously. I had to put some time into tuning the gas system because AR pistols, like short-barreled ARs in general, are pretty fucking overgassed, and it was just not very enjoyable to shoot it, if I'm being honest with you. It shot really sharp. You could feel the buffer bottom out in the tube and really punch you in the shoulder, which for an AR-15 is kind of weird. I'm used to 16-inch mid-length rifles or 20-inch rifle-length guns with super smooth recoil impulses. Getting into AR pistols was a bit of a fucking awakening for me, and at least learning how to tune a gas system. And as I'm sure many of you know, our inner city brethren, the troubled youths of today are giving the AR pistol a bad name, okay? You'll see all kinds of horrible abominations like 7.5-inch pistols with no sights, no brace on the buffer, not even a stock. Like, come on, dude, at least put a fucking stock on it. You're already committing felonies with it. Might as well go all the way, you know what I'm saying? But today we're going to talk over some, use cases, why you might need an AR pistol or why you might want one. Because I'll be honest with you, your average Joe, fighting or self-defense, defending your home kind of shit, a 16-inch gun is going to be just fine. But if you want something smaller, lighter, more maneuverable, the 11.5 or really any pistol length is going to get you there. The 11.5 is my preferred barrel length for a short gun because as I'm sure you know, 5.56, when you start chopping the barrel down on these rifles, it loses a serious amount of ass. And that's not what you want. We're already shooting, in most cases, 55 grain, really light bullets. They derive their power from velocity, so short barrels are inherently not as good as long barrels. Crazy, shocking opinion, I know. But the 11.5 is my favorite option because of its retained velocity. The difference between an 11.5 and a 10.5-inch barrel is about 150 feet per second, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot of feet per second, but if you look at a chart of how much feet per second you lose per inch of barrel length that you chop off, you lose the most when you go from 11.5 to 10.5. So in my opinion, you should rock an 11.5 if you have the choice available to you, because the difference in weight, size, maneuverability, pointability, all that shit, the difference between a 10.5 and 11.5, fucking negligible. You're not gonna feel any difference maneuvering the weapon around and shit. But you are going to see a difference on the target because you have a good jump in terminal effectiveness with that 100 feet per second, 150 to 100 feet per second or whatever. Now, of course, I'll have dudes in the comments tell me, oh, why don't you just get a 12.5? Excellent opinion. I just got an 11.5 because it was cheap and available and I got it for a good deal. So we're rocking an 11.5. I'm still very happy with it. And I'm very confident that if I have to waste a motherfucker with this, the 11.5 is going to do just fine. She's starting to cool off now. We've been shooting up here for a little while. Just been putting some rounds on her. Now that I've got it tuned up nice, it's shipped with a fucking carbine a carbine spring and a carbine buffer. And, extremely unpleasant to shoot, to say the least. I tried to tune it up with a Springco Blue and an H3 buffer, but it short stroked a lot. So we just went down to an H2 with the Springco Blue, and now she shoots like a fucking dream. This thing doesn't even move at all. You put a little bit of proper stance into it and hold the rifle like you're supposed to, the rifle doesn't move at all. I can speak, personally to the maneuverability of this weapon. This is my home defender. This is my car gun. This gun goes where I go, and it has for a little while now. It sits in the back of a car seat, very nice. Fits behind a truck seat, very nice. Super lightweight, by the way. It feels like you're holding half of an AR-15 when you shop down, as much as this barrel is. And you can tell I'm I'm pulling no punches. Red dot magnifier, flashlight, suppressor. We got all the gadgets and all the doodads, and she's still extremely lightweight, and I would not feel bad about hiking this rifle for 20 miles if I had to. What else? I know I'm going to get some comments about it. The Keymod rail. I'll be real with you guys. Keymod is not as bad as the internet says it is. Okay, this is the first time I've ever fucked around with a Keymod rail. And I have to be real with you. It's pretty good, okay? This BCM CAG front grip shipped on the upper hasn't moved a fucking inch. I am like cheating it a little bit. I'm cheating on my BCM, or I'm cheating on my Keymod, because up here it also shipped with this. It's like a Midwest Industries A2 front sight post pick mount, and I've got my Enforce weapon light mounted up on the side of it. But that's just because another problem with short-barreled rifles, you know, one thing you might need to consider before you get into this kind of shit, the handguard length, you know, I can put my hand span is larger than the fucking handguard. So you have very, very, very limited rail space on here. So that's why I'm opted to move my flashlight up here. Because if I wanted to run it on the rail itself, it would interfere with my grip significantly. Like the way I hold the rifle, to make it any kind of comfortable, I have to hold it out as far as I possibly can. Like, you know, I worry a lot about burning my fucking finger on the front sight post, the swing swivel here. Haven't really had trouble with it just because I don't shoot this gun like a ton, but you know, I can feel it through the glove right now, so I know it can be an issue if you go to really spraying and praying with this motherfucker. Aside from all that, I have to say I'm really happy with it. You know, I made a video about this when I first got it. Or, no, I think the only time I've talked about this gun was in my old BCM comparison when I was looking at the bolt on my 16-inch mid-length. But this thing has held up great. I did throw a new bolt head in it, so it's pretty much a brand new fucking rifle. Shoots great. I just papered it, and it was shooting like 2 MOA at 50 yards with 55 grain ammo. Plenty for what I need it to do. And all of its other traits, you know, the compact size, the lightweight, and now that it shoots like a fucking dream, the extremely soft recoil, this makes it a great truck gun. I wouldn't say it's the ultimate truck gun, because I'm never going to turn my back on my fucking AK-104. And all my AK guys know, if you got an AK in your car, you're up to some serious shit. We'll just let you come up with your own conclusions for that. This has been Magnum Supreme, and this has been an ode to AR pistols. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen.